Christ bless. We out here in San Leandro, Oakland, California. We just came from let's say a homegoing celebration, a funeral for a brother named Byron Casey. His mother and stepfather, brother Michael and sister Francis, invited us down to speak to the mourners and the family and friends about the Israelites and teach them their history and heritage. And so we came down. We met with a little bit of resistance from some of the people, but that's to be expected. But it was a beautiful thing. People responded well, and they felt like they learned something they want to continue to learn. Handed out many flyers, and Lord's will, they get in contact with us, and we move on, building 12 tribes of Israel, 12 tribes worldwide. Josiah Christ bless.
Hey, how y'all doing? Shalom, family. We say shalom. All right, that means peace be unto you. Right? Greetings. Just want to say thank you to the brother Michael, sister Francis for inviting us down, all right, and allowing us to speak at such a solemn event, because we didn't know the brother Byron Casey. We did not know him, but his parents saw it fit for us to come and speak with y'all. All right, so we just want to start off with a couple of scriptures, all right. And before we get started with that, again, he said, we are Israel united in Christ, right? So that's an Israelite congregation. A lot of times y'all see us maybe in the media, they may say the Black Hebrew Israelites. They say that, but that's not actually our name. Our name is just the Israelites. That's it, because it's not just black people in it, all right? So that's kind of like a shady term put on us, all right? So let's start, bro.
The book of Psalms, chapter 68 and verse 20.
Come on.
He that is our God is the God of salvation, and unto God the Lord belong the issues from death.
Right. So it's the Bible says that the issues of death belong to the Lord. So God is the one who chooses who comes, who leaves. Right? Because sometimes we say, damn, if we didn't go down that block, we wouldn't have got this. If this didn't happen. But it didn't work like that. The Lord chooses who's here, who's not. All right, come on.
But God shall wound the head.
That's it on that. Go ahead. Go to the next one.
Sirach, chapter 38 and verse 16.
Come on.
My son, let tears fall down over the dead.
Right. So it's telling you, my son, meaning my son and my daughters, right? Let tears fall down over the dead. Because you have to cry. You're going to feel something. You ain't going to be there trying to play tough. That don't make sense. Y'all have love for that brother, right? So y'all going to cry. Come on.
And begin to lament as if thou hast suffered great harm thyself.
Right. You crying as if it's happening to you. Right? Because moms, pops, some of you brothers and sisters, that's your flesh right there. Gone. You're not going to see that flesh anymore. You're upset. You're crying. He said, lament as if it happened to you. Come on.
Verse 17. Weep bitterly and make great moan.
Right.
And use lamentation as he is worthy.
Right. Use lamentation as he is worthy. Because y'all know how y'all grew up with him, right? So all them tears, he's worthy of that. All right? He's not like somebody y'all heard of, y'all just seen in passing, some celebrity and y'all heard it, and y'all crying all week. Oh, this one. No, y'all know this man. All right? Weep as it is. Do him. Come on.
And that a day or two, lest thou be evil spoken of, and then comfort thyself for thy heaviness.
Come on.
For of heaviness cometh death, and the heaviness of the heart breaketh strength.
You heard that? Heaviness cometh death. So even though y'all sad, y'all still gotta perk yourselves up. Right? Like the family just sang this song, we had to give that applause. Because they coming like Ashford and Simpson. I was like back in the days right there. Right? You still gotta have that joy. All right, because the mind is you want to see this man again. All right, come on.
In affliction also sorrow remaineth, and the life of the poor is the curse of the heart.
Come on.
Take no heaviness to heart, drive it away.
Right. Take no heaviness to heart. Don't take that sadness all the way to your heart. Right. Drive that away. Although you sad, you want to put that away. Remember the good times. That's what the scriptures are saying. Come on.
And remember thy last end. Forget it not, for there is no turning again.
Right.
Thou shalt not do him good, but hurt thyself.
You see that? Remember all of those good times. Don't keep lamenting because Now he's with the Lord right now. So y'all not doing him no good by it, but you're going to do yourself harm. All right, by continuing to stay in that silent place. All right. So we just wanted to bring out those words, and Lord's will give you some comfort. And I know he's been gone for some months, but still, you know, when you don't see a person before they die, you always have that feeling. You know, I remember when my father died, I was with him when he died. So it felt better, although that sounds a little wild. But I feel like I seen the script come out, so I know, okay, this is how he died, I'm more comfortable. But when you're not there, you don't know, that's where the discomfort and the, you know, the sometimes anger and different emotions, all right? But at the end of the day, he's with the Lord, so let's take comfort in that, all right? All right. So we just wanted to bring out a few things that Brother Michael wanted us to bring out, and some of the brothers and family members or friends of the family had seen us at the Barclays Center when we supported Kyrie Irving and all that madness was going on. So we went over there in Brooklyn, New York, and we did a little march, and you know, just to show support, because they thought that he was being anti-Semitic with what he posted in that video. I don't know what's in the video. That's not our video, family. We don't know anything about it. I didn't even watch it, so I don't know what's in it. But at the end of the day, what he was looking after was to find out whether he was an Israelite. And this is what we teach when we're in the streets. We're teaching that we are the Israelites, the actual Jews of the Bible. A lot of people don't believe that, but we have the proof. It's coming out of the Bible. We have historical record, many things, all right? And this is why we kind of like vilified in the media and stuff like that, because they don't want the truth to come out, for whatever reasons. Y'all put that together, all right? So one part of how we find out who we are is in the Bible. We say the history of Israel, which is Deuteronomy chapter 28 in the Bible, right? And we're not going to keep y'all too long. We're not going to make it boring. We're going to spice it up real quick and get on our way, right? So the founder of the group is Bishop Nathaniel, all right? So the group was organized and founded in 2003. That's not when this information came out. This information has been out for millennia. But this is just when this particular group was found out, right? It was founded. So this is 2003. Our goal is to change the hearts and the minds of our people, which are the blacks and Hispanics, must learn the truth that they are the biblical 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And you might say, what is the big deal in knowing that? So what? Yeah, so what we the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, now what? But the point is that being the 12 tribes, this is how you're going to deal with God. This is how you're going to reconcile who is God. What are you supposed to do? Some people we have, we're Christian. We go to Sunday church. Other of us are Egyptologists. We believe we're Egyptians. And we believe we're Muslim. If you ask most black people, you say, well, I'm Muslim, I'm this, I'm that. It's 100 things. All right, they're going to tell you in slavery they came over and they were Muslims. Yeah, some of us is Muslim. Okay? But when I ask you where were the first slaves from, you would tell me Africa, but I would tell you it's Spain. Because that's where our people first came from. Into this country was Spain. All right? So then, what's the answer then? What was our religion then? All right? We always knew that we were the 12 tribes. When we came here, this is when we were disconnected from our heritage. All right? But let me read on. Disobedience to God's laws has been the root of all of our troubles. Blacks and Hispanics everywhere suffer the same racial, social, economic problems worldwide. Voting has not helped us. Christian churches have failed us. It's time for a change. In these last days, we must give the Bible's medicine to sick people. Then and only then will things begin to change. And the reason we say that is because we believe in keeping the commandments of God, which is the 10 commandments and so on and so forth. When you do that, you don't have all of the teen pregnancies, unwanted children, child support, all of this. This is gone. Why? Because we're teaching the young ones, get married. Right? Give me that, Hebrews chapter 13 and 4. We don't allow the children just to run out and, okay, oh, you're dating Sally, you're dating Jenny, and no, we're not doing that. We're going to teach you, you're going to grow, you're going to get married, you're going to have children, and that's what it is. This is how you start to rebuild yourself as a people. Going to the politician is not going to do that. All right, come on.
Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all.
Marriage is honorable in all. Period. Period. When you have that marriage, and I know some of y'all might have been married and divorced and said, well, this guy was a jerk. You want me to stay with this man? Or you say, oh, this woman was trash. You want me to stay with she had an affair? No. But when you raised up the same way, and you got the body around when y'all have a problem, guess what? Hey, listen, she's doing X, Y, and Z. Okay, we got somebody to come talk. We got somebody to come talk to. You have a support system. Nowadays, if there's a support system, if you got a problem with your wife, she's gonna go talk to her work husband. She's not coming to talk to nobody in the body. She's like, yeah, he did this and that, and you gonna say, man, come on over, let me take you. But guess what? When you got us around, we're not allowing that. So that keeps your family strong, because it's just family supporting one another. Y'all understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Read that again.
Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled.
And the bed undefiled. So you be in the bed with your wife is no defilement. Enjoy. You know? But when you're running around here, you looking on OnlyFans, and don't ask me how I know about OnlyFans. I know about it. But when you're looking on OnlyFans, and y'all trying to get that next one, y'all gonna go back. Y'all gonna go real bad. So this is it. We're just trying to build back the family with the commandments of God. You can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong. All right? So in the book of Deuteronomy, which is in the Bible, the 5th book of the Bible, verse 15, this is Moses. Now, this is an actual painting of Moses, how they saw him way back. All right? They have him as a black man there. We didn't draw this. This was just common knowledge back then. There wasn't no battle. There was no arguments like today. Oh, how do you know that Jesus looks like this? And there was no argument. It was like, okay, yeah, they're the Jews. They black. That's it. No conversation. That's it. So that's why you see that picture like that, right? But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon you and overtake you. All right? So this is what Moses was communicating with the Israelites back then, that if you did not keep the commandments, you were going to get curses on you. All right? Bro, get me. 28:16. Oh, he jumped. What happened? He seconded that emotion? All right, give me Deuteronomy 28:16, bro.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city.
Right, so this is, Moses is now telling the Israelites, if you do not keep the commandments, cursed shall you be in the city. Now, we just brought up Tulsa, Oklahoma, because you have to bring it up to a more present day. This is not just back then, because all the curses that came, it said it's going to come upon you and overtake you, meaning wherever you go, these curses are going to be there until you get yourself right. So it says, cursed shalt thou be in the city. When you look at Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre, how many of you heard of this? All right, some of you might not have heard of it, right? Because it's kind of just coming out recently, okay? What happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they called it Black Wall Street. They were doing business internationally, all over the world. The white constituents, or the white city of the other side of Tulsa, there was a beef because the Black Wall Street was doing excellently and doing very well. At the end of the day, they bombed the city, took their land and riches, and now Tulsa is what you see it today, run down. Okay, so but this is what the Lord is saying. Even though when we build stuff, it's going to get thrown down because we're not living right. You might say, so how come everybody else is able to prosper and they're not living the best, but they're not the Israelites? You understand? Just like you have your children. If I send my kid over to your house, and your kid and my kid break your table, you're going to bust your kid up. Then you're going to call me and say, hey, come get him. And I'm going to take care of him. That's how God deals. He made all the people, but the Israelites, he deals with them different. He said, you my children. So when you're going off, I'm not playing with you. That's what you're looking at. You might want to ask, oh, why have our people always going through this everywhere around the world? Because we're not keeping not the 10, but all the commandments, all the laws. We have to get back to it. We got to walk correctly. All right?
Hey, then when you see cursed shall be in the city, let's look at even Oakland.
That's right.
In the 80s, it wasn't us that made the drugs and brought them here to where all of our people is bugged out. Those are judgments for us not listening.
That's right.
You know, all of our neighborhoods are bugged out right now due to drugs, gang violence, and all of the stuff that we go through here as a people.
That's right.
It was never meant to be like that.
No.
It's only like that because of our disobedience, right, and how we don't take heed to what we're supposed to do, but take heed to what everybody else wants us to do.
Right. And let me add on to that. that, going into those 80s when the crack epidemic hit and all of that, previous to that, you saw what? Civil rights movement, the Black Panthers, the families were together back then.
Right.
All right. You had the American Indian movement, you had the Young Lords, which was the Hispanic movement. You had many of those movements, but those families were together. Once the 70s hit, and welfare, and you can't have the man in the house or else you're not gonna get, once all of that started to happen, you get to the 80s, the drugs came in, and now you see what you're seeing now. Okay? So in order for us to get back, we have to get back to the family. And building a family starts with that Bible. I know all of us, we threw the Bible away a long time. We said, man, the hell with that Bible. Because every time we go to church, the pastor asking me for money, he want a new building fund, he driving this car and that car. We got a lot of churches. I mean, we got, how many churches we got? 80? You know what I'm saying? We work, and we're all pastors, we're all priests, but we work. We don't live off of the congregation's money. Never have you ever heard of us, yes, please send us your tithes. That's not according to the Bible. That's a Christian pastor foolishness. We give as you're able. If you can give, you give, and we work with that. That's how we're able to keep our buildings up. All right, and we work jobs, right, like you're supposed to. And many people, I know some of y'all probably thought we ain't had no damn job. I know what y'all thinking. Every time we on the street teaching, they be like, go get a job. I be like, y'all work. All right. So it said, cursed shall thou be in the field. So this happened. Y'all know this. All right, this is not, we're not making this up, right? Picking cotton, tobacco, everything. It even went into sharecropping. Okay? So all this took place. This is what the Lord is talking about, being cursed in the field. When you look around, you might say, well, this happened to a lot of people, but it didn't. You might want to say that, but it did not. This happened to one people, okay? Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. So like we brought up, y'all might see certain stores getting opened up. They just can't function right. Y'all ain't never noticed that? These businesses just can't stay open. A lot of y'all black businesses. And guess what? Y'all don't want to shop from black people. You don't. That's a curse. You never thought about that? Why am I not going to that store? I'm not going to that store. He trying to get rich. To hell with him. We got to get our minds right, y'all. Right? Because y'all be thy basket in our store. And this is what? Our mind ain't right, so our places ain't going to be right. We're going to move on. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body. All right? The fruit of thy body is your children. Look at this picture here, number 11. Alligator bait. The Charges River in the Panama Canal. This is what was happening during the time of slavery. They was taking these little black babies right here, putting them out there for alligators to bite them, kill them, and then they drag the alligator back and make shoes. Now we all walking around with gators talking about we fly. But this is what was going on. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body. Look at this. This was in South America, okay? Where many today, the Hispanics, where they're from, look what's happening. They were taking babies and smashing them up against the walls and killing them. Okay, Spaniards killing women and children and feeding their remains to the dogs. This is real. Okay, we got this out of books. We did not write any of this. Matter of fact, we have all of the books that we got this from is at the end of this presentation. All right, but there's many books with all of this information in it. You might say, how come I never see these books ever in life? Why would you? Because they're gonna hide it in the library where you don't go. Okay, we just take the time to read. That's all y'all gotta do. Y'all step to this Bible, you're gonna learn all this information. The Bible is basically the foundation of all of this historical evidence right here. Y'all with me? All right. Look at this, Indian land for sale, right? And the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind, which is cows or bulls, and the flocks of thy sheep, they're gonna be what? Gone. Look at this right here, y'all. This is what happened when the conquistadors or the conquerors came to the Americas and just started slaying animals and stacking them up. For the whole time before that, the Native Americans were living peaceably and eating what they needed to eat and using what they needed to use. But now look at this. Destruction. Why? Because the Native Americans are the Israelites. Y'all might not have known that. Okay, the Native Americans are the Israelites, the Jews of the Bible. Okay, they came over here. Let's get there. Let me show that real quick. Let me get our 2nd Ezra 13. Okay. And that's why we say the Hispanics are the Israelites. A lot of people don't know that, right? But we're going to show you in the Bible where it shows how they came over in the ships from the east over into the Americas, all right? This is in the Bible, Okay, something that was written a long time ago, and it's happening right now. We can see it. All right, y'all. Y'all just hang tight. Y'all hang tight.
2nd Ezra chapter 13 and verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land into the time of Hosea, king of whom Salmanassar, king of Assyria, led away captives.
Right. So it said the 10 tribes, right? So you had 12, the two major ones that stayed in the land were Judah and Benjamin. And then you had from Levi and, well, at that time it was 13 because you had the tribe of Dan. So starting from Ephraim and on, they were in captivity among the Syrians. Listen close, come on.
He carried them over the waters, and so they came into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathens, and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
Right, so they said they were going to go into a country where never mankind dwelt, where no man had ever lived before. All right, well, that's the key to this. They go into a place where nobody ever lived. Read.
That they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
Come on.
And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river.
I don't think we have that map with us, but they entered into the Euphrates River. All right, read on, bro. Let's go.
For the Most High then showed signs for them, and they held still the floods.
Right. So it said when it says the Most High showed signs, you remember in the old navigators they used to read the stars. So that's what was going on. They were reading the stars and coming around the tip of South Africa, going over into the Americas, they had to hold still the floods because that's a real tumultuous area right there. So now all the ships are going through there. Come on.
Till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go.
Come on. And going to that country, it was a great way to go from the east. Listen close.
Namely, of a year and a half.
So it took them a year and a half to get to this place by ship. Come on.
And the same region is called Arsareth.
And that region is called Arsareth, right? Now, brothers, y'all got that? We're going to read the meaning of the word Arsareth. Come on.
This is from the Jewish Encyclopedia.
Right, this is the Jewish Encyclopedia. We did not write it. Jewish, right? Jewish people. That read.
The name of the land beyond the great river.
Come on.
Far away from the habitation of man.
Right.
In which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell, observing the laws of Moses, until the time of restoration. According to 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 45.
That's what we just read. Come on.
Columbus.
Who?
Columbus.
Christopher Columbus. Come on.
Identified America with this land.
Right. So Christopher Columbus actually called America. He knew that this is Arsareth. So once he read, there's actually a movie out called 1492, The Paradise of Conquest, or The Conquest of Paradise. And in that movie, they had the character playing Christopher Columbus, and he said he knows there's something on the other side because he read Ezra, which is what we just read. So Arsareth is the Americas. So this is where all those tribes came into. So when you're looking at Mexico and Peru and all these places, you're looking at the Israelites right there. You're looking at the Jews. You're looking at the Israelites. This is what we just read. That's how we know who we are. That's how we know who to point to, because we're following this. This is not something that we just feel like, oh, you know what, we just needed an identity. Let's just co-opt somebody's identity. No, that's not what's happening here. We're going based on the proof. All right? So we're going to go back. All right? I'm going to skip through a couple of these because this is a long chapter. All right? So this one says, cursing, vexation, and rebuke. It's just talking about all of the problems that our people are going to be having throughout this time, not just at that time. Because at that time, none of that happened. They were all keeping it. And then when they started to go off, the Lord just kept them out there for 40 years. Y'all probably know this story. It's been taught in the churches for 100 years. But y'all just didn't know it was you. All right? It said, the Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee until he hath consumed thee. This is talking about all the diseases and everything else, right? Now, this is back then and now. All right? So now y'all are familiar with this, right? All the iron around the neck, right? All the bondage, the tools of bondage. But let's see what it says. It says, and thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. So, of course, in the Bible, it speaks very cryptically. So not all the time it's going to tell you, okay, you know, this is the sun, this is the moon. It's going to speak to you in a dark sense, a dark way. But when you talk about the heaven that's going to be above you is brass, it's talking about this is going to be above your head, and the iron shackled on those feet. Okay, and it also goes into a couple of other things that, you know, we don't have to get into right now. All right? So these are all the bondage tools. Y'all familiar with this, all right? So let me move on. I want to get to something real quick. Okay. We can't really see this map too well, but this is the map of our people being brought into all different nations, right? So this is verse 25. It says, the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth, right? Meaning you're going to be in all the kingdoms. That's why we were in Italy, Spain, China, Africa, right? Because most people say we're African. We did come from that African continent, right? But there's a difference between us and the Africans per se, okay? When we went to Africa, even in Africa, they're going to tell you, you guys are the Bantus, we're the Nilotes. They know the difference, okay? We didn't know the difference because we were just like, oh, we want to get back to Africa, which is cool. We're going to go back to Africa. Our people are there. But amongst the Africans, they don't look at you as an African. And it's not a hate thing, it's just, you're not. You know what I mean? You're an Israelite, but you lived in Africa. All right? Our tribes were separated. So it says, and the Lord shall bring thee, or bring you into Egypt again with ships. All right? Now, at this time, we were slaves in Egypt. Okay? So Egypt was known as a place of bondage, or another word for slavery. All right? And it says, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Or the old English word for buy is redeem. Nobody shall save you out of this condition once you're sold into slavery, right? So let's go. So it says you're going to go to this place by ships. And this is what happened. So this is where we're getting this from. This is how we know where it is Israelites. This is where we're getting it from, y'all. All right? So with that, we do have to close up. If anybody got any questions real quick, y'all can ask me. I had to jump through. We couldn't do it the way we normally do it. If y'all got any questions, y'all can ask me. Yes, sir.
What do the Israelites feel about Mary Magdalene?
Mary Magdalene?
Y'all like she was a disciple as well?
Nah, Mary Magdalene, I mean, she was a disciple. She's not an apostle like how the 12 were, but she did follow behind Christ and help and do, you know what I'm saying? She helped a lot. Help the troops. Support the troops, so to speak. Right. All right. Anybody else? Y'all good?
So, as we close this thing up, there's a point behind all of this. Because if you don't know where you come from, how you gonna know where you're headed? This is how they destroyed us by making us think we were different, by taking things and taking our nationality away from us. What does the word black mean? Can anybody tell me that? Evil. It means, when you look up the definition, it literally means nothing. Absence of color, meaning there's nothing there. So if you allow somebody to call you something derogatory, are they gonna really care about you? Are they gonna really nurture you? Are they really gonna lead you in the right direction?
We got let me jump on that. What country is called black? There's no country black. So once you're disconnected from something, then what do you really think of yourself? That's common sense. It's common sense. Well, actually, I'm African American. Okay, what is that? You know what I mean? You don't know your people back there.
Right.
You know, I'm from New York, right? So, huh? Okay.
But I'm born here in America, which makes
Okay.
me African American.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. The word Africa, where does it come from?
It actually originated as a Babylon, or you could also call it the land of Kemet. So there's a lot of history where it was renamed over the centuries.
No, right. The landmass was called Kemet, right? I'm talking about the actual word Africa and the actual word America. Right. You had Afrikaners and you had America Vespucci, right? So when you have these names attached to you, are you really representing yourself? That's the point. We didn't know ourselves, right? So now, like I said, I'm from New York, so I went to school with everybody. In New York, everybody's there. So you go to school with Italian kids, Irish, Jewish, whatever. So when I talk to the kid, he's like, yeah, I'm going to go to Italy to go see my family. He knows where the hell he's going, you know? But in New York, some of them don't even know. They don't even go where they're Italy. The Irish in New York, they barely go to Ireland. But the point is, they know who their people are. You know what I'm saying? You don't know who your people are. And then you're using the wrong name. You don't see the Irish or the Italians using the African name to describe themselves. Unless it's like jokingly they call an Italian in New York. I know how it is out here in New York, and they call themselves guineas, which I said, look, they skin complexion, little baddies.
We have to conform because of what the way
We have to conform?
society is set up.
Why do we have to
I'm
conform?
saying because of the way the society is set up.
Yes.
Don't see Israelites on anything that you can
Absolutely correct.
say I am an Israelite.
You are correct.
Okay.
Yes. So you're right. When we're going for a job, we do put African American. Okay, we do check that box. Right? We have no choice in that matter, right? You're correct with that. Just like we have to pay taxes, we don't have a choice. Certain things you have to do. So when you say that conformity, I have to agree with you. But now, when we're amongst ourselves and we have some understanding, why are we calling ourselves African American? It doesn't make sense. You understand? We have to go with sensibility.
From Africa, brother.
Okay, you're from Africa. No problem. Where you from in Africa?
No, me, my lineage is from
Yes.
Africa.
Okay.
I come from Africa.
No,
Us
we
with this
brought
black
over here. That's
skin,
how we got American, right?
we
African
came from
American,
Africa.
Okay.
right?
Even the
Okay.
Bible says it
And
too.
we want black power, so black people said we were black. So all of this, I'm sorry.
Okay. No, it's fine. Yes. But listen, again, we were brought in by the parents. His friends, if understood who they were, so they were saying, yes, we are Israelites. So that's why we've come just to spread that, right? And just teach that. Now, in terms of, I'm just bringing up a formality of just saying how names are a big impression upon our people. This is what he was saying. If you call yourself black, then where are you from?
West Africa.
Okay.
I'm from the Western African. And I know all the drumming, I know the language, I know the singing, the dancing, the spirituality.
Okay.
I know all of it.
Okay, well, let me say this to you.
Yes, sir.
Before your people were there, where were they?
They were everywhere. My people were everywhere.
So then, like I said before, when we asked who were the first slaves in America,
Right?
black slaves, where did they come from?
They came from the African slave trade from I believe from the West.
Actually, it's from Spain, but leave it there.
They came from black. They came from black slaves as well. They came from Spain. That were tricked by the Spaniards.
Look,
To come and trade their brothers.
we didn't bring that up to have no time to debate with y'all. The point of bringing it up is like, understand where you come from. Get back to where you come from.
Yes, sir.
What does this have to do with my brother?
What it has to do with your brother is that his parents
he's my
invited us.
brother.
His parents invited us. Bro, we're not here to fight with you.
No,
We're not here to fight with you.
I'm just asking. We
We're not
have not
here to
spoken
fight
about my brother in America.
That's what I'm waiting on, baby.
We
All right?
have not gotten there.
You get it right now. All right? So with that,
Celebrate his life.
I'm gonna say something.
Respectfully, you already said that you don't know him, so like we listened. Like we just.
We've been waiting for 3 months to celebrate and to get
Yeah,
together.
We're not here to fight with you.
we're wrapping it up now.
We're not here to fight
We're
with you.
wrapping it up now. All right, thank y'all for having us. 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 Appreciate you. Thank y'all for having us. Sister Nancy, thank you for having us.
I apologize. I'm sorry.
Excuse
No,
me.
you good.
I just want to say one thing.
I'm sorry.
Respect, okay? Respect. These are the men of God. They are trying to teach you about who you are. They're trying to show you who you are. Do not sit here and say, what this got to do with my brother? This is what I'm giving. You don't know what your brother was into or what he was doing.
Was he into this now?
I'll tell you this. Me and him talked about it much. Quite a bit. Okay? So all I'm going to say, there's people in here who wants to learn about themselves. They want to know where they came from, what it's going to, their life is going to be like, and how God is going to take you and lift you up and make you better people. Friends and family, where we do things with love, okay? With respect and with love. We can always deal with things differently. We can feel differently. We can have a different opinion, but be respectful.
Okay.
And that's all I ask.
You're right.
And I love all of you. Anyway.
Yeah, the event was about our fallen brother, our son, doing a farewell goodbye for him. It's a homecoming welcome to life. But at the same time, we all know, we know now that we're Israelites, and we know that the 12 gates of heaven is for the Israelites. We thought it would be only fitting that we have the true teaching of the Bible. Many times when we have these little farewell funerals and so forth, it be teaching fake doctrines. And it's kind of seen that so many times. My brother, sister, a couple of sisters passed, and having people there just saying words. And now that I know the truth, I know that it's just fake words, it's all by show. I didn't really want that to be this way, and she didn't want us that way too. We've been Israelites since the last 5-6 years, know that we're Israelites. So it was only fitting for us and our heart to be true to ourselves. If there's going to be someone speaking, it should be the men, the prophet of God, that we believe and we know who they really are. So there, we had it today, and I think it was well. I mean, the teaching, as always, was great. Lots of knowledge, but of course, you're going to have some who don't want to accept it, but that's fine. We did expect that, but it's all good. That's just how things go. It is what it is.
All praise.
But other than that, it was wonderful. We're glad that you guys came. We enjoyed everything. I think mission was accomplished. I really do. Mission was accomplished.
All praise.
Yeah.
All praise.
I learned a lot, especially when he said that we were black and we came from over there. I said, no, I come from Africa. And to straighten me out.
All right,
Okay?
that's it.
Straighten me out.
Yeah, we
And
all had to
then-
get straight.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all
Yeah,
about.
and
Absolutely.
a lot of stuff that you said that I did not know, and I appreciate
That's
that
what
too.
it's all about.
I really
That's
do.
what it's all about.
Yeah, especially when you said about Jesus with the woolly hair, because I read it in there where it says sheep. His hair was like sheep wool, And I remember that, and then when I saw the picture, and of them, I said, oh my goodness, I learned a lot. And I'm glad y'all talked a lot.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. It's nation time.
And finally, my brethren, be